probably make the case that you could probably do all oketsu treatments for it, because this is like where roketsu, part of what roketsu stuff is. So you can make kind of theoretical arguments, or you can start doing some of the other oketsu things, if it really makes a difference or not. I'm on the fence, but I do it sometimes. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm definitely want to know where his central line is. I definitely want to know where his transverse processes are. There are certain danger zones. One danger zone is trying to point the needle upwards, anywhere, because you're much more likely to get into the spinal cord. No big deal if you use an acupuncture needle. You could maybe give somebody meningitis from an infection, but no real big, it's not going to really kill them. Very unlikely to cause them any kind of neuropathy or anything. You'll know when that happens because they'll tell you, usually I feel a shooting pain in the opposite foot, opposite hand. When you get that chi on the opposite side, you touch their cord, okay, spinal cord. So when you think, oh my God, I got a nice da chi, wow, blood meridian, all the way down to the beginning in his toe, you touch their spinal cord, not the nerve roots, okay? Just so you know that. So for safety's sake, you always want to point the needles downwards. It's very difficult to enter the spinal spaces if you're pointing downwards. It's much harder to point it upwards. The other thing is that as you're getting more laterally, needling more laterally, the nerve roots kind of come almost like interior part of this. So I can very easily needling them in here, and I can go like this because I know where it is, and I can go straight in, and I'm not even, I didn't even go slow, I'm not worried. Okay, this is not long enough to enter his spine. So what is this, like 1.5 inches? I know that I'm right at the edge. I know I'm on the posterior side. I'm not even caring. I just stuck it right in, and I'm not even, I know I'm completely safe. If I'm going to start going more into his, this kind of thin needle is completely unsafe if you want to treat anatomical structures. The reason is because you have no idea where it's going. Once it enters the skin, you do not know where it's going. It will just follow fascial restrictions, do a figure 8, a loop, and go somewhere else. And believe me, if you ever done ultrasound or any kind of X-ray guided injection and stuff, you'll see it when you use thin needles like this. So you do want to have a little more control with a little thicker needle. If you have a thin needle like this, and you want to stay kind of safe, you just kind of got to go a little slower and a little whatever.
What gauge are you talking about specifically?
I like to use, whenever I do my fascial work like this, I like to use 30 gauge. That's the least amount that I feel any kind of security with. Okay.
30 gauge or .30?
30 gauge.
30 gauge.
Chinese 30 gauge.
Safety and efficacy?
Efficacy and safety.
Which is about a 0.3. 30 is like 30.
Yeah.
Okay.
You only usually do a couple of needles, right? You're not doing 10 needles, right?
Well, I usually use the same needle 100 times. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
You do?
I just stick it out, take it out, stick it in, stick it out, stick it in, take it out, half of the time. Yeah, so if I'm trying to go more over here, I'm definitely possibly going to hit his nerve root because I'm like much more on the closer to the transverse process. I'm already starting to go on the interior part, which I sometimes will do, but I don't like to do it with him supine. I mean, like this, I like to do it more supine so I have more control. But, you know, I'm on the edge of where his nerve roots are over there. So if he gives a shot going down his right arm, then I know I hit one of his nerves, okay? Not the spinal cord, but one of his nerves. Anywhere from here to here is pretty safe zone, as long as you're pointing down. Now,
That's right.
now I'm going to kind of for the chin gun kind of thing that I was talking about, I'm just interested to know what his muscles feel like. So I'm going to actually start from the top here and go down, and you see, I'm touching his lamina. I'm touching bone right now. I think it's too short to be sure, but I think I'm touching bone here. Yeah, that's kind of what you want to do. You want to go all the way down and touch bone, but it's really kind of surprisingly very little resistance to my needle, and very little reaction to what he's having. When I start feeling stuff like this, I know that it's very unlikely to be any muscularly based condition. I know it's harder to treat. Because right now he's not weight bearing, his muscles are not protecting anything. And when I go like this, and I'm just feeling the tofu, right? It's nice and soft, and there's really not much reaction to anything. I'm even touching his right now I'm touching his lamina, even the facet a little bit. Okay, how does it feel to you? Not like much, right?
Achy, but that's it.
Just a little achy?
Moderately achy.
Yeah. There's a little blood there. Can somebody bring some to wipe it out? I don't want to get his cooties.
Coming.
I already got it anyway. Doesn't matter. All right, but I'm not really feeling much of any real tightness to the muscle, grabbing, spasm, anything like that. That actually, from a prognostic problem, that actually shows that it's probably will be a little harder to treat than if I did feel a lot of muscle stuff.
And does Anthony have signs and symptoms that we're talking about?
Oh, he definitely does.
Okay, or is this just based on
He
your perception?
definitely does. Oh, well, I mean, he does have signs and symptoms, and I'm just talking in general as well. Okay?
I was 24, I landed on my head.